It won't let us on. We're probably on now. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Johnny, I'll tell you, it's going to say no. It says no. But if I do that, we're on. You might do a practice on it. That's not a bad idea. Let's record this. Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday, so it must be Whiskey Wednesday. And I should probably say giddy up because it's Wyoming Whiskey Day. And Kitty's here. Kitty Amann is here tonight. And her triumphant return, I might say. Kitty's triumphant return to actually to regale you in her new post. So what technically is the new post here at Wyoming? Oh, it's Edgerton Group, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
what exactly is your new post there?
So my new title is Market Lead, which is a little bit vague, but basically I'm looking after the entire Edgerton portfolio here
Okay.
in Massachusetts, which is
Excellent.
fantastic.
Well,
And
finally somebody in charge that knows what they're doing.
oh my God,
That's great.
watching.
I know he's watching. That's why I said that. Her boss, their boss. For anybody who doesn't know. So we're gonna take part of the portfolio, the Edgerton portfolio. We're gonna concentrate on Wyoming whiskey. I think some of the people here, did anybody go to the dinner, Wyoming whiskey dinner that we did? Yeah. With David Fazio was there, and that was a great night, by the way. So we got some new additions that we're gonna taste tonight. And we added one more, so we now have 6 whiskeys that we're gonna go through tonight, and a cocktail. So we doing the cocktail first?
2 cocktails.
Oh, 2 cocktails. I knew Kitty would let us down.
We're going crazy.
All right. So do you want to start with the cocktail, or are we going to start with the whiskey?
What's the cocktail?
Cocktail? Does everybody have a cocktail? Everybody does have a cocktail. Johnny on the spot has been on the spot. You know what we're talking? All right. So what's the cocktail we're starting with tonight?
Cheers. So we're starting with a Wyoming Sunset. So this cocktail is basically kind of like it's a liquor, boozy, peachy Arnold Palmer.
Okay.
So we did 2 ounces of Wyoming. I did the small batch. And then it also has, I made some like nice fresh iced tea for you guys. I squeezed some fresh lemon. And then some peach liqueur. I used Rothman and Winter. You have 3 peach liqueurs on the shelf, so like definitely a great place to shop for peach liqueur. It's not the true anywhere else. And then I shook it up and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
We'll
start with a cocktail. Why not?
I thought it'd be nice for like end of summer porch sipping.
Okay, let's get this. Can we get this over with? It's not the end of summer.
Thank you.
We're in the dog days of summer. Okay. We're in the dog days of summer. So this is what gets me. And somebody else said this the other day, and I want to just set them straight because trust me, Lisa, I know that pumpkin spice is already out. But if we say really summer is June, July, and August, aren't we we're not even
It's the
like,
6th.
yeah.
You're right.
We get the whole month of August, don't we?
Calm down, Kitty.
Yeah. Yeah. Calm down. It's not the sunset of summer yet. But it's a nice sunset. All right. Get that out of the way. I was just in Texas. It was like 102.
Oh my gosh.
Summer ain't over. All right. Well, we got that out of the way. You guys, they love this because, they're here to drink. And so they got a nice cocktail, which is great. But tell us, as they're sipping on the cocktail, why don't you tell us a little bit about Wyoming whiskey? What makes Wyoming whiskey so great and different?
Well, I'm so excited I get to do this with you because you've been a supporter of Wyoming whiskey for as long as it's been in the market, which is exciting. So you're going to help me and the folks. Has anybody ever been to Wyoming? Okay, so you all are going to help me today. That's amazing. That's amazing. So Wyoming whiskey, basically the brand was started. The roots go way, way back in some ways to 1890, because the folks that started the company, Brad Mead and Kate Mead, have been ranchers in Wyoming. They're kind of a very important family in Wyoming, although they don't champion that with the brand
Yeah.
in any case.
Right.
Yeah. So big stewards of the land, civic service in their background. And then David DeFazio, who you mentioned earlier as well. So they all were working together. I think they met David in like 1996. He was a young lawyer. They're ranchers and lawyers. So
Okay.
that's like their background, their deep, deep background. And they decided in 2006 they wanted to make a whiskey. So from my understanding, they actually had to change the laws in Wyoming to be able to distill, to start a distillery, which is very cool and great if you're a lawyer to be able to do such a thing. Yeah, and they started the brand there. They wanted to make a completely like Wyoming agricultural product, so something reflective of the land, the spirit and culture. I do think they do a wonderful job with the branding in terms of capturing vibes of the Wild West without being kitschy or
Right.
patronizing or something
Well,
like that.
I think their sort of background is, they're into conservation, they're into hunting, fishing, but they're stewards of the land.
I love that.
So I think that really tries to, and I think it comes out a lot in the products that they're doing. We started out, we picked a barrel when they'd just been into Massachusetts, and we picked a barrel. And the funny part is they they filtered the whiskey, but not all the way. So we ended up with basically particles of not none of the big chunks, but we ended up with particles from the barrel in the whiskey, and we named the whiskey, of course, True Grit.
Oh, I love
So
that.
I mean, we sort of kept in with that whole like Wild West sort of spirit, and then we did. I'm just trying to think. Then we did True Grit 45. This is 40.
Okay.
And then we did, I think the next one was Rooster, Rooster Cockburn after Rooster Cockburn. And I think the last one is Fill Your Hand, USOB was the last one from a great line from True Grit. And then you're going to have the last one we did tonight, which helps us celebrate our 50th anniversary here at Julio's. But it's been, we were firm believers in the whiskey from the get-go, which was nice, and they've let us play with the whiskey this whole time, which is
So cool.
which is really cool.
So cool.
So, you've had your cocktail. I won't keep it any longer. We're gonna start, and we're gonna start with the small batch, which is sort of like that really is sort of the flagship, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The small batch. So it's a wheated bourbon for anybody. We talk a little bit more about the technical aspects. Wheated bourbon. They started the distillery with Steve Nally, who you've probably met, and maybe some of you folks have met as well.
Steve used to be the master distiller for a little whiskey brand called Maker's Mark.
Little company you might have heard of. So.
Yeah. And so talk about wheated whiskey, right?
So I think something that I thought was really interesting learning about the brand was learning about how they, in some cases, you could describe it as like a traditional style in a non-traditional place.
Right.
So they're talking about like, just picture the Wyoming. I had a presentation, we're not showing it because it doesn't work with Facebook, but picture the beautiful, vistas and huge mountains. I mean, those of you who have been there could probably describe it better than myself. Kirby, Wyoming is 4 hours away from Jackson Hole. So, and just
Civilization.
yeah. 95 people live there. Very small town. I'm from a small town in New Hampshire. It's bigger than 95 people.
That's right.
But should we?
Yeah,
I'm talking too much, so let's.
So what's the how old is this? There's small batch. How many things go into the small batch, and what's the ABV?
Okay, so the minimum age is always going to be 5 years on the whiskeys. And then for the kind of general mash bill, although we're playing with a bunch of different items today, you can always expect it to be 68% corn, 28% wheat, and 12% malted barley.
Okay. That's their small batch, and it truly is a small batch because they don't make a ton of whiskey. So the batch size tends to be on the smaller side. There is no definition to small batch.
Right.
Let's just start there. There really isn't one. It's supposed to be small batch is supposed to be smaller than your regular batch, whatever that might be. But it's really about talking about a limited use of barrels, but enough barrels to give you a sense of the whiskey all the time to be consistent with the whiskey, so it tastes the same time after time after time.
Which is, thank you for explaining that. I love that explanation because I sometimes try to search for things.
Yeah.
There's just no, it's marketing.
No, but this is like, this is one of those solid whiskeys that's on the shelf all the time and that you can pick up anytime, and it tastes like this. So you definitely get some, you get those caramels, you get those vanillas in there. I think it's pretty soft. There's no real hard edges to it. What's the ABV on this is 88 proof. What's that? That's when he graduated? Yeah. That's and then I also graduated in 88. So that shows how old I am. But I think it's a good, it's one of those type of things. It's got some kick to it, but it's not crazy. And it lends itself, as we just tasted in a drink recipe. It still comes through. There's enough flavor there to really still hold up.
They do talk about the climate a lot.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked about the climate. So I love New England, and I think that we're hardy people here, but I don't know if I could do Wyoming.
No, you don't think so?
Man, so I was like studying, of course, and trying to, learn so I could have lots of details for you guys. But they talked about temperature swings from -66 in the winter to 116 in the summer. That is
About right.
very big swing.
Well, those are big swings. And actually, we've talked about this before, and we've been doing samples with these guys for a while, and you can't convince me otherwise. Everybody tells me this can't happen, and somebody will probably call me out on the interwebs. But well, we brought samples in. We were doing samples one time, and we had samples sent to us from Wyoming, and it was in the wintertime, and we had them sent in, and they go like, none of this whiskey tastes right. I'm not putting my hand on it. What's going on? Because I never had a problem with samples. I always, some I like more than others, but there was really something off. And I said, when were these, like, you talk about that negative, getting into negative numbers. And I just think it was just everything was being forced out of the barrel, and it was all in the whiskey, and it was just not tasting right. We took samples again in the spring. No problem.
Totally different.
Totally different. And so, and I've been told that's totally wrong, Ryan. It doesn't work that way. And I go, okay, then something else was going on. But you can't convince me anything otherwise, because the flavor profile was different.
You lived it.
I lived it. And it's like, and it might be anecdotal, but it's not going to, the amount of samples they gave me, it couldn't be across the board that big. You know what I mean? It got to the point where it was like, something else is up here.
Yeah, we need to get a chemist.
We need to get a chemist. I am not a chemist, nor do I play one on TV. So we went for it. But a beautiful whiskey. I mean, this is just like a rock solid, I think, a flagship. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
We're good?
Hey.
I think it's really nice. All right. What's the next one we're going to
So the next one is going to be our double cask. So the double cask is going to be same. We're talking about the same mash bill. So we're staying in the zone, the 68% corn, 28% wheat, and 12 malted barley. Edrington loves our sherry casks.
Mhm.
So we start with the traditional bourbon styles. So charred new oak, white oak. And then we see a minimum of 5 years in that cask. And then it's shifted over to a Pedro Jimenez sherry cask.
How long is this staying in there for?
That I don't know.
Okay. Is it to taste? I
Um,
mean, there a lot of times there's no,
Yeah.
especially you're making stuff in small batches. You can't really sort of like a lot of companies already go like, oh, we know it's going to be 6 months in that cask,
Right.
in those casks, because we get such a big, it's a big batch. So it's all going to blend together. We'll be fine. When you start doing smaller batches, you sort of have to do it by taste.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of the sherry finish on this? Adds another dimension, huh? Not overpowering. I think it goes well. It doesn't overshadow the bourbon, which is important. It doesn't become it doesn't really become something else where all you're tasting is the sherry. Like it's very well melded.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I will tell you right now. I
68%
believe it's 100. Yeah, it's 100.
corn,
Yeah.
28 wheat, 12 malted barley. Yeah, no problem.
And that's a 50 proof. Excuse me, 100 proof, 50 ABV. I like that one though.
Yeah, I love it.
And that the only thing I have about that too is where you say like it's a double is just like I don't think everybody necessarily reads the label that it's sherry.
What is the cask?
Yeah, what is the
second
cask?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people now are doing double, they're doing double woods and they're just putting it in a brand new barrel. So it's the same wood on wood. It's wood on wood rather than like, doing a separate finish like that. So
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was far more interested. Like I was like, oh, that's like so interesting when
right.
Yeah.
And it's a sherry finish. So
Sherry.
and I got to tell you, that's when Edgerton comes in because Edgerton, you guys all know that they do Macallan, right? So I mean, they have the access to some of the best sherries in the world from Spain that they can use to send over. So hope you guys like it. Do you guys like it? Yeah, that's really good. I like that one.
I love it.
Now this is when did this? Do you know when this one came out? Because this is
I'm not sure when that.
yeah, this has been out for a while, but I think it's on their newer side
Mhm.
of
More
offering.
recent. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they had this until Edgerton was involved with the company either.
I'm wondering if you would have had it with David in March or April when he was here.
I don't know. I can't remember if we did. Did you guys remember? Because some of the people went to the dinner. Do you guys remember this one? Did we do the double wood? I don't think we did the double wood on the dinner. I don't think we did. No. So it was a new one for us to
Great.
try out and thing. Good. I like it. All right. So the next one is sort of I like to say American whiskey. It's so weird to say this, but American whiskey is sort of the unsung hero of American whiskey. Because we're always thinking bourbons and ryes, right? Everybody's in love with the bourbon, everybody's in love with the rye. But the catch-all for if you don't fall into those categories is American whiskey. And American whiskey sort of can be a lot of different things. But in this case, what's the American whiskey in this one?
So this is going to be rye.
It's going to be rye.
Yes. Should we talk about the story of the rye?
Yeah, we should talk about the story about the rye, but it's not rye whiskey, and it's not rye whiskey because it doesn't follow all the rules to get it into rye whiskey.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the rye. We're going to have to talk about Steve Nally in this little story, because he is the king, one of the kings of wheated bourbons, right?
Yeah.
So
this
Dave DeFazio wanted a rye. All right, tell us the story.
Yeah. So, and fill me in if I'm missing any.
I don't think you are. I don't think you will, but
it's so funny. But it's also interesting too. So I think the story that the short of it is that David DeFazio had been researching, it was like 2000, probably 2010, nerds like myself and other folks that were interested in whiskey were starting to be very curious about rye. And so he said we was following trends, wanted to try making one. Steve Nally said no. And there was a good
I'll never make a rye. I think this is exactly
Yeah.
like that.
And the way the story positions him makes him sound pretty stubborn. But and you guys can fill me in and you can too, but like from what I understand, making rye is so totally different, right? Like it gets
rye whiskey, if you don't know what you're doing, can be a little bit difficult and it can be very messy if you don't follow all like to a T.
Yeah.
Like and people make it different ways and they do different things, but you can have foam overs, you can have gunking of the system. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with rye whiskey. It can be I've heard horror. Let's put it this way.
Yes.
From master distillers, I've heard horror stories about saying like, "Oh, we're going to do a rye," not realizing what they were walking into. And this is like, at the same time when rye all of a sudden became popular, there's people that have been doing rye since the beginning of American whiskey making in the United States. But not everybody's been along for the ride,
Right.
so to speak, since this is Outrider. I remember what's it? Is it Andrew? Why am I'm blanking right now? From Brooklady, they decided to make a rye, and I said it was like 3-day cleanup
Right.
when
Right.
they started to make a rye.
To do that.
And so, I get his sort of like, no, I've seen it gone wrong too many times. I think I'm going to step away from that one.
Exactly. So he did, I guess what he did was he it sounds like right before he left to go back to Kentucky. So Steve Nally eventually went back to Kentucky. But before he left, he complied. He made the rye, and everybody was like, okay, cool, and left it to age. They had Nancy Fraley had taken over consulting in this period as well. So she was tasting the barrels. She was like, this is really good. David tasted it a year later. It's 2015. Now it's time to like maybe do something. It had been 5 years. They go to test it, do the chemical testing or whatever, and they realize that it's not 51% rye. It is in fact not compliant to be rye at all. It was 48% rye. So
True to his word,
he didn't want to make
he did not make a rye.
not make it rye, but it was damn good. So then they had the problem of like, what are we supposed to do with this, and how are we going to figure it out? So it's cool. It's got like a cult following, from my understanding. The name Outrider is a reference to. It sounds like they experimented with a few different names and ideas, but what they arrived on was Outrider. I think they wanted to call it Bastard Batch, which would have been fun.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, Kate Mead said no. But the outrider refers to when you're herding cattle, it's the rider that goes along the outside and manages.
He gets the strays.
The strays.
Yeah, he picks up the strays along the way.
But that's very cute.
I think I think it's hysterical. And by the way, just to set the record straight, Steve Nally does eventually make a rye. We've actually sold it, but he does eventually make a rye. And by the way, it was fantastic. It's like it really, really, really was exceptional.
That's awesome.
Most people will know this as the Wandering Rye. We did a barrel of it. It was called the Wandering Rye, which actually Steve Nally did that one, and it was outstanding. So we can do it, and he did do it. And this is also outstanding. This is really good. I mean, he was defiant in it, but he said, but to his word, he didn't make a bad whiskey.
No.
So what do you guys think of this one? That's really cool. It's a small. There's not a lot of this. They don't make a lot of this. And because of it, it's also American whiskey. It's not rye. It's not listed as rye. It's listed as American whiskey. And a lot of people just shy away from anything that doesn't say bourbon or rye.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of those really good times where you can just say, like, put the liquid to your lips and you'll see why you should buy this. And this is it. Oh. The proof on this one is 100 proof. So it's 50. So do you have the breakdown?
So it's changed
it a little bit, right?
It's a changing. So they ended up using actual rye. They were able to, at this point, what they're mixing is a true rye and then a high rye bourbon.
Right, together.
Together. So they're staying in that sort of like bourbon rye area. But yeah, great story.
Rybon.
I like that better than boo rye. Boo rye is kind of lame sounding to me.
We did that.
Did that?
Rybon. We made one called the Rybon.
I bet it was good.
It was. Just blending them together.
Like a big cocktail.
Instead of burr rye. Yeah. Which is trademarked, so be careful.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. High West. What do you guys think? Really good whiskey, right? At the end of the day, do you really care? I mean, we all get caught up in like, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you like it. What's the big deal? I don't care. It's like what I said. People like, they get my name wrong. I said, you can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. I want to make sure we get there. So I like this one too.
I love it.
I think Wyoming, the hard part about it is we're not in Wyoming's sort of sphere of influence out here in Massachusetts. So it's one of those type of things. It's like, we have great whiskey from like Wyoming, different places. And sometimes if they don't get proper representation, they sort of wilt on the vine, right? You don't get them, but that's why you guys, when you try this stuff and if you do like it, tell somebody, anybody, somebody in the aisle. We have a lot of that here at the store is that,
Awesome.
if Gio, John, or I aren't around, I've had, more than one of the Lock and Key members saying like, what are you looking for? Have you tried this? And all of a sudden they become ambassadors because no one's gonna, you can't come out here. Dave DeFazio comes out here a couple times a year, but you can't be here all the time,
He's
and
one for it.
that's why, you have people like Kitty out sort of preaching to all of you to try it, and you get some liquid to lips and you try it and you like it. Tell somebody else you like it. What's that?
Yeah.
Preach on.
That's
It's like a traveling whiskey show.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? We got risky roadshows coming up. You can be the traveling salesman selling your snake oil to people. All right. Good. All right. The next one. So the next two we're going to try sort of side by side. That's number 4 and 5, correct, John? 4 and 5, which is 3 and 4, which is this part of the series that Wyoming has been doing for the National Park Series. So we actually have both of these in stock now, which is sort of unusual. We only usually have one at a time. We do have two. We have the number 3 and the number 4. Number 3 is it's so confusing.
3 and 4.
Number 3 is number 4 that you're going to taste. So number 4 is number 3, and that one is the limited edition small batch, aged 5 years, straight bourbon. It's 105 proof. It's limited edition, and this one is the Snake River, which is in the Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. I was got a great picture of that too, but that's the national park number 3. 5's just about to come out, right? Isn't 5 just about?
Yeah, 5 is okay. Remember, I'm new. There's so many different new things. Edrington, which is great. I'm fun to know. But 5 is about to come, and then there's an Acadia National Park one, which is a new.
Yeah, we're going to try to get that one. That one I think may be a Maine only, but I'm working some magic.
Right.
Yeah, I think Acadia's. We're trying to get some here. It's supposed to be meant for Maine, but like it's Massachusetts, Maine, both begin with M's, and we're both in the Northeast. We're part of New England, so we're trying to see if we can bend the rules.
Yeah,
we're gonna break a rule. We'd like to bend them, though. They were once part of Massachusetts, anyways. That's the argument I'm going to use. Thank you very much, Megazone. That is the argument I'm going to use. Yeah. Does anybody literally live in Maine? I don't think there's many people. I don't think they'll sell them.
no.
I just got myself in trouble. What do you guys think of this? What's the mash bill on this one, though?
So this is going to be the same
It's
standard.
the same. Same mash bill.
We're going to roll with the 68%. This to me is delightful.
I think the extra proof on this one just really adds. I think it's adding another dimension. Of course, there's small batches, so they're going to obviously they can make them taste a little bit different in that smaller batch, right? But this to me is more robust flavor profile. The thing about wheat whiskey, I think a lot of times picks up a lot more of the barrel influence than rye, which is going to give you more spice across the board. I think wheat sort of adds to like almost more of a textural thing. And it also, I think, picks up the influence of the barrel a little bit more. So we do. We have both. We have we don't have much, but we do have some. Because three is obviously on its way out. But we do have a little bit of this one left. And 4 is just coming in. So if you saved, you can save them, you can try them side by side, but the next one would be number 5, which is the Parks Edition number 4.
And they're all age minimum of 5 years. Don't
5
worry.
years still a minimum. I know. Yeah, I know. Because people go, oh, the 5-year-old. I'm like, no. It's number 4. This is Mammoth Hot Springs. This is in Yellowstone. The picture of this one is in Yellowstone. So this one, however, is 98 proof. And I think they're all done right. They're all done at like batch strength, whatever the batch comes out. I don't think they're adding any water. I think it's just batch strength on these things too. So that'll be number 5.
They're really
Is
different.
the National Parks Edition number 4. I'm just trying to confuse you with numbers. But see, like they're very different. I know. If I had the other one, it really throw you for a loop. What do you guys think? This one I'm picking up a little bit more of that like cherry notes. And this one, you guys getting that? Did you? I was listening to you, Lisa. I was listening to you. You were sending it to me. All right. So out of curiosity, and it's just a curiosity's sake, because they're both good in their own way. Who's likes number 3, which is number 4 on your tray, better? And who likes number 5, which is number 4? Oh, that's a mixed marriage right there.
I love that.
Husband and wife like each. You know what that means, right? You got to buy one of each, right? So they're both good, but for different reasons. I like that one too. The number the number 3, the snake. I'm going to call him the Snake River one has as a little bit. I think it's got a little bit more depth to it. Umami or something like that. It's got that sort of savoriness. Really good though. Yeah, I mean, that one's got more of that sweet, fruity. Actually, a little bit more of that. We got that cherry in there, but I think you get some of that. I think you get some high vanillins in that one too. Really good though. They're both really good. But that's the whole point of having a series of ones that coming out. So you're doing batches with the different labels, but you're also doing them at batch strength. So whatever the batch comes out to be, that's the strength. So it's going to be all over the board. If you mix them together, they're very good. Well, you can do that. They'll be doing that later because they're getting one of each. I can tell already. So, all right. So, you guys ready? We got one more. We got one more left, which is which is very special in our eyes. This is the Julio's 50th anniversary that Wyoming was extremely nice to do for us for our 50th. Because we were such strong supporters of them. My old high school classmate had a hand in this. Herb sort of helped get this done. It's a custom label. It actually has on the front of it. It has the Julio's Market, which is our first market in Shrewsbury. The funny part about that is the front label with the original market on it has like a house on top of the market. That's where actually was the first place I lived, which was above the market. Yeah, it was above the market. Believe my sister and I were the last two people, two grandchildren to actually live above the market, which is really cool. And it's obviously a homage to my grandfather, who's Julio. And on the back is the supermarket here in Westboro with a liquor store attached to it, which is the first rendition of Julio's Liquors. For those of you who don't know, we've actually been in the same plaza for 50 years, but we've had 3 different locations in the plaza. That was the first location, which was about 1,000 square feet, which is smaller than this room that you're in now. The second was about 10,000 square feet. And the third spot, obviously, is here. This building was actually built to house Julio's Liquors. They were like, oh, why would you have a place that has upstairs and downstairs? And that's the way we built it. We wanted to have the warehouse downstairs. Believe it or not, the cool part of this place, and not many people know, is we're surrounded by dirt on 3 sides in this basement, or cellar, as we like to call it in New England. We call it the lower level just to sound fancy. And there's actually a spring that runs below this building. Also, the backside of this warehouse, pretty much constant the year round. There's no AC down here. This is the temperature it is down here pretty much all year. Gets colder in the rest of the basement, but this back part stays pretty much the same. So it's a sort of a natural wine cave, which is wine is stored on this side of the building. So,
Yeah.
well, you know, I've been sort of itching to sort of tap the spring, as they would say, and do something like that. I haven't had any luck talking to my uncle about doing that. So why do we even pay for water? We just bring up from the spring. And yeah, probably. So we'd have to have it tested, but it's supposedly a good spring. We have, you know, Lake Chauncey's right across the way. So, and that's spring fed too, I believe too. So, all right. So that's the last one we have, which is number 6. You guys try that. Now this is a little different. This is
different, right?
Yeah, this is a different. Do you have the
What is
mash
the
bill?
specs?
You know, this is a high rye mash bill. I can't remember the numbers. Sorry, that's me. I thought you would have them. Does anybody else have them? Because usually one of you guys will pipe in because we've done it before. But this is a rye mash bill. The funny part about this is, because of the labeling, we ended up the lawyers ended up with this for like almost 6 months. There was some legal wrangling that we had to do to get this label done, which caused this to be older than originally planned. So this is a 7-year-old. This is a 7-year-old high rye mash bill. So try that and see what you guys think.
Love it.
And this also marks the first time that we didn't do a weeder of the barrels we've done. So see what you guys think. I think it came out great. I think it's got some great spice to it, but it's almost got a little bit of cinnamon. You know, some baking spices in there, which is really nice. It doesn't show some of the high rise sometimes can throw like spruce and that type of stuff. It sort of keeps it that way. Keeps it down. There's actually a little bit of sweetness to this. This is a fantastic barrel. If you haven't gotten your hands on this one, there is probably only about 4 cases of this left. So if you haven't gotten this one and you're trying it now, that would be a good time to get it. And I'll go through all the pricing later. What do you guys think of the 50th anniversary? Good one? Good? Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad you guys like it. Thank you. All right. Is that it? We threw. We did them.
Well, I was going to do one cocktail to close.
Oh, John, do we have another cocktail?
I have to make it.
Oh, you have to make it. Well, you know what to do?
Cocktail.
What we'll do is we'll do that. We'll do that separately. We'll end this. Yeah. We'll take us off the air. And all I can say is for everybody out there and that's watching us, if you're watching this, of course, on Facebook, we do this Facebook Live, but it becomes a podcast. You can look for It's the Liquor Talking wherever you get your podcasts, such as Spotify and so forth. You can get this and watch it. And we'll say bye to all the Facebook and podcast people. You know, it was really great having you watch along with us, but you should have been here because it was awesome. And we're going to have something special after we're done. So thanks, everybody. And the Kitty, thank you for coming in. Thank you. Everybody go Kitty. And we'll end this. We'll stop recording so no one knows what we're doing.
I can tell the secret.
And then we'll end Facebook and on that too. So.